And that's just what it sort of ends out, and we just keep going down the same path, and we just keep getting further and further down into that hole, and our body just won't respond, and we're not getting any adaptation, which is improvement. We're not getting better, okay? We've spent all of our money for your body just to operate, okay, instead of making those improvements.
Straight from swimming. Brought to you by Boris. That sucked dick. Me and Chris had just over an hour's worth of swimming, 15 minutes to get here, get changed, and then straight into that. So that sucked. It was 2.5 minutes, 200 meter run. First round was max rope climbs, and we alternated between shorty rope climbs and normal rope climbs. And then the second round was 200 meter run, max distance handstand walk. So you did that in 2.5 minutes, 30 seconds rest, and we did 8 rounds total. It's fucking, and with swimming we did just over 2 kilometers. That sucked, but it's done. One more training session for the day, and I can go home.
I just have one question for you. What's it like training with Evan?
Good but horrible. It's fun. It's a good push.
Does it feel good that you're a better swimmer than Evan?
Yeah, it does.
He said you were cruising, yet he was going all out and you were still beating him.
Yeah. No, he's a good swimmer. At least he doesn't drown. That's good.
This is my performance matrix. So this is what I use to help really drive my performance. So I found over the course of the last 5 years that I've been doing CrossFit that most people, and myself especially, excel in the training area. Training's not an issue for us. But the food and sleep is what we really start to struggle with. I've found in my own personal journey that those two are just as important as the training aspect. So if you put 6 hours in at the gym and then find you're not improving or not getting better at all, it's generally because you're lacking in one of these two areas. This is exponentially more important the higher level of athlete that you are, but even right down to just a beginner, I think this is the big area that people really struggle with, whether it's trying to hit performance at the top or if you're trying to lose weight at the bottom. Whatever that is, it comes down to this. Why I put food and sleep, and in part with sleep is recovery, just as important as our training, is because if we're not fueling our body or recovering our body, our training is going to suffer, and then we're not going to get the results out of that. These two directly link into what I've referred to, or what I've been taught as our adaptation currency. So our sleep and our food fuel how much our body has to then spend, adaptation currency, on our results. So if we think of it like a bank account, so you may start your day day one with $100 in it. That's how much your body has to spend on training. You can train more than that, but at that point, once you spend that $100, whatever extra you do is just gonna push you down into a hole, and your body isn't actually gonna get any benefit or improvement out of it. So say we're in this hole where our food is shit, our sleep is terrible, but we're training a fuckload. So what happens is we spend $120 for the day. Like a bank account, you have an overdraft. So if you spend more than what's in your account, your bank will give you a little bit extra. So that puts us at a negative $20. So that doesn't disappear. If we're not sleeping adequately enough and we're not recovering properly and we're not eating properly, we start day two at a negative. So we have to pay back that $20. So we start with 100 again, but we lose 20. So we're starting at 80 bucks. But then you go, no, I'm gonna rip in the same as I did yesterday because that's gonna make me better. So we spend another $120. So we end the day then at a minus of $40. We have another night of shitty sleep, we eat shitty food, we come the third day. We're starting to feel like shit, but I'm gonna push through because that's what's gonna make me fitter, is training more. So then the same thing happens again. We have to pay back yesterday's deficit. So we start the day on $60. We spend another $120, a minus of $60. And we're just pushing ourselves further and further down into that hole and not giving ourselves a chance to recover from that, okay? Because of that, that's what leads to overtraining, overexertion. Adrenal fatigue is the very end of the spectrum, where we get to a point where we're just fucked all the time and you just never feel good. You should come into your training feeling good. If you don't, you need to either rest, sleep more, recover better, or eat more food or better qualities of food, okay? And that's just what it sort of ends out, and we just keep going down the same path and we just keep getting further and further down into that hole, and our body just won't respond, and we're not getting any adaptation, which is improvement. We're not getting better, okay? We've spent all of our money for your body just to operate, okay, instead of making those improvements.
But how do you know for your specific self, like what's a sign that you can like listen to your body that you've trained too much for that one day?
So what I normally find is mine starts my day off with my sleep. So I aim to get 7 to 8 hours. If I wake up after that and I wake up when my alarm goes off and I still feel tired within that first 10 minutes, the day before I overextended myself. That's my first little sign. But then sometimes I'll go and I'll have breakfast. So I'll have my first meal, which for me is generally oats, protein, like it's quite carb heavy. So it should give me a fair bit of energy. If after that I still feel tired, then I greatly reduce my training volume here. So if by the sleep I don't feel great when I wake up and I've eaten and I still don't feel energized, then I've overextended myself the day before and I'll reduce my training volume and then go to sleep again and then wake up the next morning, and if I feel better, I'll increase the volume again.
The flash of burpees.